Welcome once again. This is Trisolace. So contacted by a client to come and check farms. It has been in existence for a while, but we are coming for a visit to check how things are doing. So first off, what we're going to do is that we're going to do a water test. So we took a sample of their water, and then we're going to test for the soil, the water pH level, which is very key because snails thrive on water, and then we need specific type of not too much alkaline or acidic base. So we are going to test. So with our trusty test kit for pH, we are going to test the water pH level. So as you can see, it is calibrated to 0. Once you put it in, so it starts reading. We'll give it quite a while so that it gets used to the pH sort of reduce. That we use to test the soil itself acidic level and the temperature, and we also have a hygrometer here which we're going to use to test the humidity level of the place. So with a hygrometer you can even test in the like you can wave it around and it tests it out. So the key point is 91%. We were supposed to, for a very good habitable place, you need around 70 to 80 as the percentage. That's the percentage level of oxygen to the humidity level here. And then our temperature is around 27 degrees, 27.9. So as you stir it about, it sort of gets you a good reading. It's still 28.3 there above. So that is the actual reading here. So after testing the water, we're now going to look at other ways of making the water better for the snails. So we'll test the water again because the first one was sort of a control that we did. So we take or withdraw another water, and then leave this in for a very long time, and then we'll test it again. So that is what we are doing now. We're going to take soil samples from in there, and then we're also going to test the soil pH level, which is very vital as well because that's the habitat of the snails. So we are gearing up for that. Okay, so we are checking the pH level of the soil, and it's not really too much of a news because it's a loamy clay soil, meaning that at the end of the service you are supposed to, the soil is retaining a lot of leached chemicals on top, either it's nitrogen in the soil or potassium, any other thing in the soil does not get the chance to go under or leach down. So everything is retained on the soil. So if you are getting 8 on the pH scale, it is not really any much of a big news. So we tested that, and that means that we need to aerate the soil and leach it a bit so that a lot of the acidic content will go. So leaching is basically adding more water on top of the soil for it to drain away the other harmful aspects. So it settled on 8 because we have two different types of soil. One is very wet, one is very dry. So we tend to use the wetter one because of the majority of wet areas there. So you can see here as well, there are still a lot of the centipedes in there. You can see a lot of the centipede in there. That is one here where the shell is. And just this particular soil, the organic matter content in it is so good. If it was for planting, this would have been an excellent option, but for snails that do not like a lot of pests and diseases, these other insects will be a hell for them. So that is basically what we did. So these samples will be taken back with us to Accra to test. Basically we are testing on the soil component, the soil chemical element, and then we are also testing for other chemical constituents in the soil, organic matter content, name it. So the lab will come with a more detailed sort of description or detail for the soil. So that is what we are doing. And then now we're going to take you around. She has grass cutters, she has other animals like I think poultry and pigs and all that. So we'll show you what she's doing here. And then the good side of it, the bad side of it. Even though they are a bit far apart, there's tendency for wind to blow other diseases which are communicable to the other animals. So let us go in. We'll be going in soon. It's another wonderful day, and like we are on the farm inspecting it and trying to figure out what is wrong with it. The structure is a 4 cubicle or 4 enclosures. 1, 2, 3, 4, and each one is 4.5 here, 4.5, 4.5, so it is 16 meters at this end. So like we said, we are on the facility inspecting it and trying to figure out what is wrong, because the farmhand admitted that they have not been given any training whatsoever, so they are just doing it daily basis, just leaving the snail there for their own sake. And this is a 4.5, and we have 4 enclosures. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 enclosures. So from that side to one of the sides is 4.5. So the 2 is 9, the 4 is 18. So we have 18 meters by 17 meters, which is almost a square in appearance. And then the height is a 3.5 meters, which is one of the tallest we have seen, because mostly we do not leave a lot of space on top because we do not use the space on top. Sometimes it helps to regulate heat, but this place is fairly cool not to have done that. So kindly let's go inside, check something. We are looking at some of the reasons why we are having issues. So the door itself has a bit of space under, which other snails can infiltrate, and because there will be food and moisture here always, other snails will be very happy to infiltrate. So this is one of our achatina, our good snails. But see, everywhere they pass, there are sakasaka also worrying them. This is one of the achatina, but you can see they have been rubbed, like when their shells are rubbed together, meaning that there are abrasions and some scratches there. And everywhere you can see the centipedes. The sakasaka is mostly centipedes, and the other snails which are not good snails, they are pests. So this is the Afidba. In Ghana we call it Afidba. It's like the other type of snails that has a cylindrical shell. They are very poisonous to these snails, and there are a lot of them here. You can see a lot of them. And this is a normal achatina, but it looks very dullish because of sunshine, and it doesn't have a place to hide. So you can see here they are hiding in plain sight, like they do not have anywhere to hide. You know, they will try to hide themselves. And this one is trying to go into estivation, meaning that it's trying to go because it thinks it's in dry season, it's trying to go into estivation. So that is one aspect. Where we can find other snails that are not good for our system is on the walls. So let's try and see if we can get some snails on the walls, which are not our snails. We do achatina, and then other snails we do not want them, especially the fulica. They are pests and they take your food. They sometimes try to kill the other achatina, which is not very good. Okay, come here. We have one culprit here. So this is a fulica, the one they call quarter vent. So this is a full-blown fulica. What they do is that when they are very young, they pass under hooks, cracks and crannies of the door and other part of the system and enter. You can see it has eaten a lot of the cement. That is the fecal matter showing the cement it has eaten, and it is still there, resting and eating this there. You can see this part has been cleaned off. This side as well has been eaten. So there are a bit of abrasions here and there. And this is a fulica, a full-grown fulica, and that is the pest. The other snail, that is a pest. That is. So the fulica, look at this. So those are our centipedes that are attacking even this bad snail, which we don't eat, so we call them bad snails because they are not commercially viable. But you can see in this, you can see that it has a lot of the cement residue in the fecal matter, and you can see 2 centipedes here just attacking even this snail that is not useful to us. So how come this snail got in here is one thing we need to look into, because these sakasakas or the centipedes are very harmful to our snails as well. One, they draw moisture from the snail, and they sometimes lay eggs into the snails. So even this snail, which is very susceptible to other diseases, might succumb to the attacks of the centipede. So let's go check for more culprits. So there's another fulica. That's another fulica, and they love calcium. See, wherever there's a fulica, wherever there's a snail, it's like the centipedes have shared. They are sort of divided to rule. They are dividing so that each can attack a snail at a time. And these guys will lay a lot into the snails, and they will hatch and eat the snail out. Even this is a fulica, a full-blown one. It has almost a cylindrical shell. It looks like the tiger type, but it is not. Even the fulica has had incidents. See that it has been stepped on a few times. So we need to educate the farm hands very, very well, because even this fulica that is not commercial has had issues with it, which is they are very strong. And you can see the centipede there. Wherever they are, there's a centipede, and you can see it has eaten that side, a little bit of that side, making what our theory is right, that they eat a lot of the gypsum on the, and when fulicas are about to lay eggs, they eat a lot of calcium so they can lay. Come closer. So for fulicas, their eye is also one factor that will make you see that this is a fulica. A fulica always has a dot, a pupil, but the other snails do not have pupils. So a fulica will always have a black pupil or dot in the eye. Let's look at the infestation here. Come closer. See, how many centipedes can you count just here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A whole lot. All lining here. Meaning that the farm is heavily full of a lot of pests, which we need to eliminate. And it's also because of the concrete structure or this that most snails are not surviving. So all these guys also love moisture. So you can see where there's a lot of moisture, that is where they are hiding, because there are also ants in the system that fight against these centipedes. Everywhere you see the centipedes, everywhere. These are either millipedes or centipedes. Because they are very small, we cannot distinguish between them, that is the larger ones, and the smaller ones. And we have vines growing everywhere, which is a sign of disrepair. And that is one follicle here, all the way up. I think it's trying to avoid the centipedes or the millipedes. So that is, I think the diagnosis is to probably clear everything, because this is a full-grown plantain. It will continue to grow before you know it is getting to the canopy. I think these guys wanted to make room for the plantains, but still the plantains are huge. They will grow up a lot and then tear the ceiling, making this not worth it. So they have spiders, infestation of spiders. There are also a lot of ants, a lot of soldier ants and bullet ants. Those are the ones the centipedes are running away from. So these are the bullet ants or the soldier ants. Those are the ones they are running away from. And their feed always attracts other culprits. So we can go into their feed. So this will develop mold. And then it is too coarse. It is too coarse. You can see this. So these are I think millipedes, but they are not full grown. All these are larvae of other insects. So wherever you find the food, it is wet, you have other insects coming on. So, and the food is too coarse, like it is too rough for the snail. It should be more finer. The particles should be more finer. Okay, so the sprinkler is also close here, which is a very big one. It requires pressure. So we'll give our diagnosis to the client, and then see, there has been so many vines. There are even calabash and gourd, the gourd plant, you know. So this looks like the local cucumber, which shouldn't be growing on our system. It means that it has fallen into a state of disrepair. So we've done all the due diligence, and we feel that we will give the client our sort of recommendation